Hello, my friends. It's Friday night, and I'm here with you and trying to keep the haters out. I don't want them near me. I don't want them near you because they are jealous. They're envious. The things I talk about, what I'm going to talk about. We're going to continue what really Cosa Nostra is all about. So now, who knows better than I? I was born in Karini, Sicily in 1953. I grew up there until I was 12 and a half years old. Then I came to America. I went to Red Oak section of Brooklyn, where the real fishermen came to live. And I was 12 and a half. My background from the Cosa Nostra, because once you come in America, the only thing you remember about Sicily, where you're from, where you're born, where you grew up. At 12 and a half years old, you're back there, then, even in America, you are considered a teenager. You're not a baby, you're a man. Because I was in the piazza, working in a barber shop because my father wanted me off the streets because I was wild and I wanted to be adventurous. I used to go on the mountain. I used to cut school to go to the beach because over there the weather is like Florida, like I'm living now. That's why I chose to come to Florida because it resemble the weather, the Sunshine State. I hope I'm saying it now and right now because I've been made fun of me that I'm saying Sunshine State. The Sunshine State. The sun is always there. And that's where Sicily was. Sicily to me was a land of the sun. Beautiful. The Mediterranean. The aquacultures. My family was involved independently as a fisherman. So, and then my brothers got involved in construction. So, they alone, those are mafia connections from back then in call it mafia. Okay. It was a thing that you were involved, especially agriculture, livestock, sheep, cows, pigs, and the mafia was involved in all that. My town, Karini, was no drugs, no heroin. They won't allow heroin in the town of Karini. Corleone was an hour away. Castellammare was 30 minutes away. Torretta, where Carlo Gambino was born, was 10 minutes away from my town. Also, going to the mountain, it was a Montelebre, where Salvatore Giuliano, the bandit, left a legacy in Sicily. And he was during the war, 1940s. So when I was born, in 1953, growing up in the piazza, you always would hear the stories about Turiddu Giuliano, the Robin Hood of Sicily. So everything about that it's called that we brought in America Cosa Nostra, the land of Sicily, which the main mafias were in Palermo, they were in Trapani, Catania, Messina, Etna. Uh, I don't know. Just to mention a few names. So that was when you came to America, and you were around these people. You referred to Cosa Nostra. The way we believe. We don't go to the law. We solve our own problem, men to men, and that's what I grew up with. And my father was a man of respect. He was an independent, and his family's brothers were independent fishermen. So if you understand it, I'm trying to explain what my roots were a family independent business people in the fishing business. They went out, catch fish, catch tuna, swordfish, big fishes, and small fishes, all kinds of fish to supply the towns nearby. And, they all got into activities, counterpart in dealing with the different type of people. So when I came to America, my father knew about what's going on back in Sicily, about mafia, mobsters, gangsters, and he knew in America was a different thing. They were involved more into heroin, drugs, but they were not Cosa Nostra thing. They were American thing. And he wanted me to stay away from these people because the type of kid I was that I always bounce around, from coffee shop to coffee shop back in Karini because I work in a barber shop. I want to do errands, pick up coffee, pastries for the guys, while they're waiting to get a haircut or shave. And I learned a lot there. I learned a lot about tough guys. I learned things about people that are weak, that they can handle themselves, that need always somebody else to help them. And there was always controversy, you know, with people shaking people down, the same thing in America. So they would hold disputes. Nobody would go to the carabinieri, police. If you did that, you're a rat. And we used to have a saying about, you know, be a sbirro in Sicilian, sbirro. The police, carabinieri sono sbirro. In other words, in English translated, they're rats. You can't trust a policeman, you know? And that was the thing that was penetrating my brain as a young boy. So I believed to be a stand up guy. I believed to be tough. Don't bow to nobody. That's what my father was. And I love to show you my father. That's my father. He does look a man of honor. and I'm there on the knees, always leaning to my mom and pop. They were my guiding angel in Sicily and in America. See, this is the book I wrote in Italian, I Principi di un Padre. I brag about this because it's my heritage, is where I come from. Cosa Nostra, the real man of tradition. So I brag about. And then when I came to America, and I was in Red Hook section of Brooklyn, and I didn't know nobody. I didn't even speak English. So I had to learn the ropes, the American way. And as time, I was growing up, in school, I got into fights in the neighborhood. I see people fight. I've seen people, being stabbed. I heard people getting shot, live, you know, in Red Hook. So, it was already built on it, to see with my own eyes, because I live right across the street from a police station. So on Union Street, 75th Precinct was across the street from my three-floor apartment where we lived when we first came, six-room, where it was not high class neighborhood. It was people, immigrants. But today, those houses are worth millions of dollars because you're right next to Manhattan. Things grew, everything changed. Okay, so I just wanted to give you abbreviation what Red Hook became. It became very wealthy neighborhoods. Very rich people live there now these days. Uh, so I got a long story to say, and I like to say hello to Camilla. She's the first one to say hello. Camilla, hello. I'm getting better with my cold. Uh, Hope you're doing well. So, the story about Cosa Nostra has nothing to do with the Americans. The Americans grew up being hoodlums, let's say. That's the truth. If you went to, you know, uh, Little Italy, if you went to all these neighborhoods, uh, that's what they used to do. You know, try to make scores. America was different land. There was no agriculture in the cities. There was no fishermen independency. In America, uh, like it was back in Sicily. Everything is different. Construction, it was not like it was in Sicily either. So that was the group that men of respect controlled back in my town. Then there was, Corleone. They were in the mountains. So they dealt with the livestock. There was no agriculture up there. There was, livestock like sheeps, pigs, cows, and they got involved with the heroin because that was a big money. There was no land to, cultivate. If I'm saying it right, I think I am. Let me say hello. Okay, so we got Salute from North Jersey. Mommy, I got to put my glasses on. Okay, we got Tommy Stinks, 8229. Salute from New Jersey. Salute from Florida. Tommy now says, me and my sister Camilla here. Where's the crew, the sub, and the fans of the show? I'm winning too. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's Friday night. They're out with the wife, girlfriend. I don't know. But we just started, so it's only we're in 15 minutes discussion. Maybe they will come in slowly but surely. So yeah, where is everyone? I don't know. Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. Maybe they my true story doesn't turn them on. Maybe it turns them on when the people tell fabricated stories, phony stories. You know, there's a lot of people that got podcasts going on right now. They're talking to. They've been there before me, and they got their followers that they like. They they like to hear bullshit stories. Like you watch the news. People get hooked up watching the news. They hear bullshit. Like what's going on right now with this Iran, the war. You put in one channel and you hear one story, and then in the media, let's call it okay, Fox News. They have their own followers. They fill the information to their followers. Then you got CNN. They fill the information to theirs. MSG. They fill NBC, CBS. So everybody's got their own. So I'm the new kid on the block. I'm the new guy coming in and trying to talk about real story about what the the mob, the life, Cosa Nostra. They want to more mention the mafia. Today, everything is mafia. They still try to mention the word Cosa Nostra, but I don't think they understand what it means, Cosa Nostra. Even the rats, the informers, they try to mention Cosa Nostra. If you notice, when Semi the Bull mentions Cosa Nostra, the way he says it's very hard to understand that he came from Cosa Nostra. He doesn't even believe he came from Cosa Nostra. The way he says it doesn't sound right, and Michael Francese doesn't like to use that because he don't come from the Cosa Nostra. He comes from Holmes. That's what he was. And, Sonny Francese was not Sicilian. He was Napolitan. He grew up in America as a kid, young boy. I came 12 and a half. He came when he was a kid. So anybody that comes there, I would say under 6 years old, you go to kindergarten in America, you learn to speak English. You learn everything about English life. When you go back home, you go back to mom and dad, it doesn't register anymore because now you're in America. And as a kindergarten, first grade, you mingle with American kids. And it's very easy to start learning English and talk English and want to be like the American kids. So you don't know anything about La Cosa Nostra. You just fit right in already with the American mentality. So when I came, I was 12 and a half. I had the Sicilian mentality. and we were the first generation that came here, and we dealt with our people. We don't deal with American because I quit school at age 15. I really wasn't going to school much, because I was getting into fights. So 13, 14 years old, I was always getting suspended, especially me because I was a greaseball, guinea. I always would be the blame because at that time they had the Irish teachers, so they were going against the Sicilian instead of going against the blacks or the Spanish because they were Puerto Ricans, close to Americans. But Sicilians were considered bad blood, bad people. So it was bad. So okay, I gotta say something here because we got people coming in. Okay, I think I got Johnny. Johnny, a Benedica. Likewise. Uh, Tommy. All right. Cecilia, listen to you. Okay, I have two Cecilia listening to you from Palermo. One is 95-year-old. So then he could understand what I'm talking about. Yes, they old people could understand where I'm coming from. The young people don't understand. They don't know nothing. They're born here, they grew up here. They got a lot of people. They talk about Vito Genovese, Napoletano, Carmen Galenti. He was born. Where was he born? In New York, I think. Constella Marese. You know, but he was born in America. He grew up as a hoodlum. That's why they grew up. They didn't grow up with the Sicilian mentality. Real tradition. Cosa Nostra. It's our thing. I think that we grew up, we believe. So it was a different people, different times. So going back when I started getting familiar with this mobsters, gangsters in America, as a young boy, and then in 1970s, I was 17 years old, and my previous show, I talk about I met Fritzi Giovanelli, I met Rusty Rostelli, they were not, from the old school tradition. Now I got in relationship with Joe Messino through marriage. He was fucking third, fourth generation from Naples somewhere, but he didn't act Italian. His mom and dad didn't act Italian. His brothers, forget about it. They were like in a different planet. So my my torment was Tommasino because he was 10 years older than me. He was already hooked up with the Rastellis, and he was married to my wife, San Josephine. So Sal was born in America, but his parents tried to raise him, from the old tradition. But like I said, once you're born in this country, you're not a Cosa Nostra. You're not person from our thing. You grew up in America, and everything is about being a hoodlum, a street thug. Try to make money, try to score. Either you're stealing from factories or you're stealing from trucks. hijacking and selling swag, and the big thing was also selling cigarettes, picking up the numbers, the street lotto, uh, taking action, bookmaking, which I got very familiar with, which I like to do. That was a big thing to me. Run the poker games, blackjack games. So that's, and I would have a beef with my father sometime because I would try to do that on a sneak, and I would get caught, and I would hear hell from him, you know, and and he would tell me, if you ever get arrested, I'm gonna kill you, So I had that fear, put on top of me that as long as alive, I can get arrested. So that was like made me, aware the dangers, who I was associated with, where I did, where I would never go behind my, my stream, my, how do you say, looking for trouble. When I seen there was a risk, danger, not knowing who I'm doing business with, I would step back, and I was telling them I'm not interested. Only if it was my score, only if it was my thing. So, like in Glendale, kids, the average kids I made friends with after getting into fights with them, because they looked down at me. I was younger than them. So when they used to come to the pizzeria, they would, make a mess. They would try to start trouble. There's a long story. There's the books behind me. How I began to fight. How we straightened out these Irish kids, and after they're seeing death in their life, that they could have died, and we saved them. They became very loyal friends. They became loyal friends to me for 50 years. You know, and well, let me say hello here. I don't know what do we got. No, we got the same people. That's it. We don't have no new people coming in, but we got more watches. I know that. I'm seeing the numbers. Watch it. They don't want to make themselves known. It could be the haters too that I blocked them, but they're watching the show, which it's okay. It's good. Okay, so now Johnny's saying I moved to America when I was almost nine, and extremely hard time learning English. Yes, but Johnny, if you started in the first grade kindergarten, you could say, right, because you started kindergarten, then you go to first grade. You're already with the kids. You already learned the alphabetic. You're talking to kids. It's a different ball game. It's a different thing. So I gotta put my glasses on as I'm talking because I see people coming in now, and the views are getting higher. I'm seeing that people watch it. Okay, let me. Okay, say nine. Okay, just John eating some nice. All right. America thing is the American thing, and the Sicilian thing is the Sicilian thing. Two two different entirely with a common goal. Yes, that's it. We had the same goals. We were different, but there was love and hate already with that. even though they were Italians, uh, they were born in America and they grew up in America at a young age. They were like different people. They weren't like the Sicilians. So it's different beliefs, different faith. What you want out of life. So okay, now we got a unique mastiff 333. Hey Jack, how's it going? Unique. All right, then we got Bill C 598. Hello everybody. Hey, we got Billy in. See? So coming in. Now it's 7:30. So whatever they had to do, they did. Or maybe they're gonna do it later because it's Friday night. When you're young, you want to go do it later. Right now, it's time to hang out and try to learn things about Cosa Nostra because I'm trying to give you what the real Cosa Nostra is about. Is the things that you back from home, when you grew up, how you grew up, what your beliefs are, what is the principles of life. Okay, now we got it was I think it was fourth or fifth grade. I started in America. Way different than school in Sicily. Fourth to fifth grade in Sicily. I went to fifth grade in Sicily. I didn't miss school there. The only thing is that I went to different schools because we moved before we came to America. We moved to where I was born. Then we went to the piazza. So, you had a different school district that you went to. And in the fifth grade, you already, like high school, in mathematics, history, we didn't do science. So everything was about history, the Italian history and math. And I was good at that. I love history. I love history. That was my number one thing. Christopher Colombo, Ulysses, the Greek, the Syrians. In Sicily, we learn about all those, the Greeks. We learn a lot of the histories, the Roman Empire. So, up to the modern days when Christopher Columbus discovered America, uh, what was his name? Garibaldi. Uh, I can't think of the first name. He came to America to fight World War II to help America. He was a great liberator of Italy, southern Italy, Garibaldi. So I learned a lot about him and history and math. So that's it. So when I came in America, I started in the seventh grade, because I came in the middle of the year and I was 13. So they didn't accept me in the sixth grade because I really belonged there on my age. But they put me in the seventh grade, which I think you had to be like 14 years old. I think. I don't know. But anyway, I was in the seventh grade in the beginning of January 1966 because I came in December 1965. So now just picture it. I'm a greaseball, a guinea, and didn't know how to speak English. And I'm in this school with blacks, Spanish. Also, with a lot of Puerto Ricans there, because the neighborhood where we live was Italian. There was three parts. It was mostly control, Puerto Ricans, Southern Italy immigrant. We all mixed, but a lot of Sicilians. And then there was the project. So that's all was going into that school. So there was not many really immigrants that had to learn English. We were like a handful, and everybody spoke English. So I had to adapt, to get along with these people. And there was always, you know, being picked on. Not just me, but even other kids. And other kids were not fighters; they were good kids. With the Barres, the Calabres, Napolitan. They were not like I grew up in the in the hills, in the mountain, in the sea. You know, with the adventure, Ulysses. Uh, the gods. That's what I my my what I learned. Okay, now we got unique mischief. Giacomo, how do they separate the men from the boys in Greece? I don't know. My my compare, if you're Greek, you understand what I'm talking about. First of all, tikanis, kala. I learned some words. It became best a friend of mine. You know, when I came to Glendale, uh, I still. Oh, that's what happened. I went to work. I think it was 15, 16 years old. I went to work in Manhattan, and this Greek guy, uh, Valveris, the family, Valveris, they had a pizzeria, and they asked, for me to go to work there because it's true family, because they needed to run 30th Avenue and Fifth Lexington, 3rd Avenue, Lexington. They had a pizzeria and they needed somebody good to work there. And there I met the younger brother, Chris Valveris. And he was going to school at the time. He became an accountant. And he became my accountant. And we became very close. That, I went to his wedding. And he came to my wedding. And we were so close that my last son, my youngest son, Adam, when he was born, I wanted to make him a compare. In other words, the godfather from my son. And the church turned me down because he was a Greek Orthodox. It's in a long story. But I grew up, I was very close to the Greeks. And they were a very strong family. This Valveris family. They had a lot of. They started with the what do you call hot dog wagons, selling hot dogs in Manhattan, and they were immigrants, like we were, and there were four brothers: Carmine, George, Chris, and Nikki, and they made a lot of money. They opened up supermarkets. They became very powerful. They imported a lot of people from Greece to America, to work in their places. So now I'm going to ask you, unique mastiff. Giacomo, how do you separate the men from the boys in Greece? I don't know. I don't think you could separate because they taught the same way we were taught. You got to become a man at a young age. Like the Jews, they have 13. They have you. When you're 13 years old, you get the bar mitzvah, you become a man. And I think the Sicilians had the same thing. You're a man by the time you're 13 years old. And the Greeks, I think, the same. And the Arabs, the same shit. You're a man, because we come from that old ancient. And that's why we always got problem in America with those Arabs, because they're fucking ancient. They have their own belief. They are, they've been through hell all their lives. They've been seeing conquerors, been conquered. So they different. And that's what about the Sicilians. That's what we are. The Sicilian people are no different than the Greeks, than the Turk, than the Iranian, all of them. We're not much different. Mentally, even the fucking Indians, India, you know, we're not much different. So there's a lot of, how do you say, uh, resemblance in tradition. They believe, and they kept to themselves too. They didn't go out to go to the police. They don't do that. Only the Americans believe that you got to go to authority. They the ones who believe that, and that's when they get in trouble. They get involved with the organized crime, and then all of a sudden, when they don't like it, they become rats. They turn because they're the one brought up that way. Uh, so now Johnny says, I was bad in school from day one. A school in America, I was fighting bully. Didn't know that they was saying, but I could tell it was a joke on my expense. The nuns beat me daily. Yeah, the nuns were bad. My wife went to Catholic school. Across the street, we had St. Pancras. She says that they used to treat her bad because she was a very pretty girl and a very nice girl, and the nuns hated her. She always got in trouble with them. I don't know. Maybe it was too much to be a nun, not having a man on your side. Same thing with the priest. Not being married is not normal. You got to be a fucking, cuckoo. Stay your life without a woman, or a woman stay without a man. I don't know. So I don't. So now it says, Esselminius, quella familia, patriarchia, patriarchia. Yeah, we were the same, no different. The Greeks, we believe in the same thing. It's, Greeks are very strong people. They're not pushover. But if you look at the American, WASP, English, that's what comes down, Anglo-Saxon. They hate all these people we mentioned. They hate the Italians, they hate the Greeks, they hate the Turkey, they hate African people, they hate every fucking body. They did this. They think that they're supreme. The Anglo-Saxon and what I said before, English. Okay, so White Saxon and Anglo-Saxon. Okay, so I don't know why there's a lot of people not here. There's a lot of people that I guess they don't know yet. I don't know. I'm trying to reach out, and they come a little by little. Okay, so Johnny's saying similarity. similarities. Yes, Greeks are beautiful culture, beautiful country, beautiful women, great food, passionate people, like the Italian. Yes, but the Greeks stick with their own kind. They don't want to mix them, marry with the different nationality. They're very like the Jews are the same way too. They don't real religious. Real Orthodox Greeks. They don't want you to marry outside of the culture. You got to be Greek. That's it. You marry Greek. The Jews, Orthodox, whatever they call them, they stay with their own kind. So they're different in that way. They don't, you know. So we got a soy sauce in coming in. Hi Giacomo, how are you? I'm doing good. So we were talking about where's everybody, So I I'm glad you made it. You came in. So we got now just got back from the bar. That's good. That's good. The bar. It's a good place to have a few drinks, relax, chat with your friends. Okay, Johnny Catalano. It's Friday night, Giacomo. They're probably all out tonight, except for the haters. They stay home always. Maybe. I think they came in to stop in and check me out, but they can't get in. They can't make conversation. They can't attack me. There was a guy who said something on top of the page, and he wrote something about 2 o'clock. Frankie Castilla, 101, a 242, he made a comment, and I just, I took him off. It's got to be somebody, a hater. It says something bad, and that's it. I don't need him to come and spoil my sauce. I'm making the sauce. I don't want him to put what do you call it, best spices in it. Because I'm trying to talk to new people. Um, so if they want to come ask questions, what it is really distinguish the Sicilian culture, uh, the Sicilian with the American culture. We could talk about it. We could say things. Okay, so now I'm going back, scrolling down. Uh, okay, so that's there. We got it's Friday night. Okay, now we got Edwin, Don Giacomo, bless always. Likewise, Edwin, thank you for stopping. Catalano, benedizione sempre. God bless all. Very nice. See? So we're getting people coming in. We see. Jack's got the sauce. Yeah, I got the sauce, Camilla. We got the ingredients, the right people. We're trying to get the right people. You come from tradition, so you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Now Edwin is saying, "Don't Giacomo, have a great weekend. Go forward always. Let no one discourage you. You are now a part of our family. Amen." Thank you. Well said. I hope so. And we want to build, and we want to create, and we want people to educate people what the real Cosa Nostra is compared to the mafia and compared to the hoodlums. Because America, that's what it was. The big thing was the hoodlum, and the stories about the hoodlums in America, racketeers and all kinds of names. They were not Cosa Nostra. They wanted to be like La Cosa Nostra, but they weren't. They never were. They will never be. All right. So Nick Mustiff. Shout out to Edelman. He's a good man. Our Lord, yes, he is a good man. He made his presence known. He listens, and that's it. And now it's up to the new people coming in and let them, come in and push like, subscribe. So I've been through wars my whole life. I had wars in Sicily when I was growing up with kids of my age. We used to have gang fights with rocks. We used to throw rocks, and they still use that in the Arab countries. They throw rocks. You could see it. They throw rocks at each other. You know, that was a gang fight. That was a big fights we used to have as a team. As a kids, we used to uh, build weapons. Like wood swords. We used to do wood spears. We used to sharpen them. The broomsticks. You used to cut them, make a point, like like you go hunting. You throw spears. You make bow and arrows. And you build them. I don't know if anybody ever heard of it. That if you take the umbrella, the metal of the umbrella, and you curve it, and you put the string, right, and you make it tight, and then you could take the straight spear and make what do you call it, the arrows, by sharpening on the ground. Make points. Try to shoot the rabbits and try to. There was a lot of things you grow up when you were in Sicily, in the hills and the mountain. It's a different life than growing up in the city. So people don't understand that. So Estella Venue, say di Palermo. Estella Venue, yes, I'm from Karini, province of Palermo. Palermo is like maybe 20 minutes away from my hometown, Palermo City. And the airport where you land in the Palermo airport is right next to my town, which it belongs to Karini, the airport, but it's still Palermo because everything belongs to the capital. It's Palermo, but the airport when you land to go to Palermo, you're right next to my town, and my town is historical. It's we have a castle that is rebuilt, now for tourism to come. There's what is it called a history, not a legend. It truly really happened. About the Baronessa di Carini. The stories about the story of the love between a young man from a different family with a young woman that they were like from a different family, dukes fell in love, and their family didn't want them to be together, and they commit suicide like a Romeo and Juliet. So and now this castle has been rebuilt. A lot of tourists are going there. The whole town of Karini is a different city now, alongside they build up factories. It's like a city now, So let me read what they're saying over here. Shout out to Edwin. He's okay. Unique must have said, shout out to Edwin. It is a good man. Edwin respond, Unique, blessing always, thanks. Okay, yes, me, Estelimus, Sadi Palermo. I say, yes, we used to make slingshots. Yes, even the American boys did slingshot. What about the other thing? Like David and Goliath. We used to try to do that too, but that didn't work too good. The other one worked good. The swords and the spears and the bow and arrow. They work good. We could make those make it work. So we used to do anything to just stay busy. There was no other things to do. We used to play the you know like a bocce ball, and those were the games we used to play. There was no toys for playing. Only if your father bought it. My father bought me a horse. When I was a kid, he bought me a trump. He bought me a sailor uniform because we were fishermen. I was when I was a little boy. Pitches, cowboy. So those were the toys we used to get. Ok, da quale parte della Sicilia viene, fratello? I'm Johnny's Sicilian too. So I don't know. You asking me? I come from Karini. You could check out Karini, Sicily. They talk about my town. My town was a man, a town with respect. There was, I would say, men of honor there. Honorable men that they took care of their people and they didn't deal with no drugs. They would not let no drugs come in there. In my story, they try to come, and smuggle heroin there, and they did kill. What was that guy? The DA, with the bombing, not far from where we live in by the sea. What was his famous? Uh, the big prosecutor, and that's when everything things start to change. That they don't want the mafia no more in Sicily. Even the Pope got involved. They want them out, and they all became anti-mafia. Uh, so there's a lot of history in my town, Karini. Very respectful. Exit Lido e di Carini. Exit Idu e di Carini. Idu, I don't remember that word Idu. Uh, chi comanda oggi in Sicilia? I don't know. Nobody comanda in Sicilia. Every family is well on their own, and they don't listen to nobody. They they just follow the law. Most of it, what it controls Karini now is the churches. The church. Most of the people are involved with churches. They do everything with the church. So, so I don't know. Johnny responded, Esther, just a lot of speculation since Matteo Denaro died. I don't know. I've been in America now. When I went to Sicily, in the 80s, 90s, I was going almost every other summer because my father was still alive, my mother, and people were more, bound to themselves and with the church. So everything was respect. They didn't like the mafiosi. No, they didn't like it. They want them out, and they pushed them out. Okay, now let me go here. Se volemo ci manda okay, still okay. Trying to respond since Matteo De Niro died. Did you ever go to Corleone, Sicily? Yes, I went there. I wanted to know what was Corleone like. It's like in a mountain, no big deal. Nothing there, for people, my town is a lot prettier than Corleone. Monreale, there's some beautiful towns, you know, that are well, how you say, well kept, traditional. Like I said, we had a castle, right, in town where the town was built around the castle. So there were wealthy people. So the town was built the right way. The piazza is beautiful piazza we have. We're right on the hill. You could see the Mediterranean if you go to part of the town, because we're on the hill, and then you could go down and go to the beach. So it's a beautiful sight. So we were Totorina died years ago. Yeah, he was a fucking wacko. Totorina was a hoodlum. They dealt with heroin. He was the Corleonese. That's what they did. They wanted to control the heroin. That's why they fought with the people from Palermo, and they got into wars. And but nobody came to Karini. They were not allowed because my town is not a small town, and a mafiosi, from Carini, like I said, they were involved. My family was involved with independent fishermen. They had weapons, and then you had the other people with the agriculture. They protected the land. They have fucking weapons, and my town was full of that, and there was a lot of construction going to get built, like factories, very warehouses, So they want to protect that. They don't want no heroin coming down and destroy everything. So no, they were not allowed. Okay. Soy source says the Pope said mafioso could get into Ibits. The Pope said mafioso couldn't get into Ibits. I don't know what the word means. Am I pronouncing it right? Ibits. Okay. Walk, walk joke two. Who do you like, Harris or Trump? Dude, if I had a pick, I'd pick Trump. If I had a pick, I'm independent. So I don't think Harris was good enough to become president. I like Bill Biden. I did like Biden in all the years. He was a sweet guy like us. He believed he was Irish, but I like I liked him, and I like Biden of Clinton, and I like Biden of the Bushes. He was. I know Biden. I mean, 50 fucking years. Excuse my language. So I know what he was, and I like this style. What he was. He was a tough guy. He was not a. Everybody now, the guy got old, and I don't like when they keep on talking about him. I mean, I'm getting there soon too. I'm getting the age where I'm starting to lose some, memories, names. So, everybody thinks you're gonna stay young forever. Just hope that you get to the age, my age, or get Biden's age. So when you're young, you think you're unbeatable. You feel good. You could say anything you want. But I like Biden. I like till today. I like him. I mean, he's going through a health situation, but he's still there. He's still kicking, and he's still, try to be the man he was. So the answer is Trump over Harris, definitely. Uh, he's talking about the judge who was killed in the bomb attack. He was ordered by Tortorina. Yeah, that was I can't pronounce his name, and I can't think of it. That happened. The bomb they did that near my house. The summer beach we have because it's right along the highway. Because the highway wasn't there, my dad built the house away from the sea because he was a fisherman and he knows the sea that you stay close to the sea, you always got problem erotic from the sea, from the ocean. So when he built a house, he built it like so many yards away from the sea. And then what happened when we were in America, they built a highway. So it was right in front of our house. Over there, the law is different. The government is not like America. They do whatever the fuck they want, whenever they want, and how they want. So, what was his name? The judge. Uh, they love them. But they killed a lot of judges over there in Palermo. That's why enough was enough once they killed. I got a tip of my tongue to mention his name, but it can't come out. Borsellino, Falco, and Borsellino. Yeah, Falcone. Yeah, John Cantona. Yeah, Falcone and Borsellino. Yeah, when they killed that guy, that was the end of the mafia. The Pope, everybody came down and they wanted to wipe him out. But the people themselves, that's how it is today. The people themselves, if they know somebody's a bad guy, who wants to be a mobster, they kill you themselves, or they're not going to turn you in. They're going to kill you. They would disgrace you. They would, throw stones in your house. They want you out of there. They don't want no part of it. They don't, that's it. That's the way Karini is today. Is you respect your neighbor, and your neighbor's going to respect you. There's a respect among the people themselves. So that's how it is. Um, okay, now so okay. So Falcone. Yep, Falcone was a good guy. He wanted to clean up the bad guys, but the bad guys were doing heroin. They were fucking doing bad things. I don't think they were going to come down so hard on the mafia if they would still be doing aquaculture or independent fishing or construction. You know, they just got involved with the heroin. Heroin was not good. They kill people. I mean, people die, destroy your family. So now Catalano say Biden? Question. Hey, listen. If I had to pick anybody, I think Biden is one of us. He believe in tradition and mafia. He's a sweet guy. Okay, mafia back home in brutal animal compared to USA. Women, children, old and young. If they got your tick you up, tick you go. Mafia back home is a brutal animal compared to USA. Women, children, old and young. If they got your ticket, you go. That's right. They don't fuck around over there. They don't want no hoodlums. They don't want them. They would take the law up in their hands. Did you? Okay. Source says, Saucy Jack. Do you see the news today? They arrested Daniel Keenan, one of the world biggest drugs and arm dealer. They arrested him in Dubai. Well, they always been around. They would always be around guys like that, and nobody becomes so famous till they get caught. And that's how it is. You know, people don't understand that. People want to know that the guy went to jail 20 years for killing somebody, and they're becoming heroes, you know? And the more killings they did, because drug dealer, it could be anything. But as long as you did kill somebody and went to prison, you're an honorable guy. You're a man of respect, and people respect you. And that's disturbing me. How people think. You know. Um so, what do you say right now about Donald Trump is fighting Iran and he's killing people? People dying. You know. He's making it like it's a fucking joke, but people are dying. Innocent people are dying. They're dying. Ukraine, the people always dying. Who always gets the end of the stick is the people, the regular people, the citizens. It's been like that since the beginning of time. And then I got to worship a politician, be his follower. No, no. I follow God Almighty, and I follow my kids, my wife, and my mother and father were alive. I follow them. I came, from a family of 10. I love my brothers, I love my sisters, but with different people. In a way, we're bound together. My mother used to teach me that once you get married, you're off to start a new life, and everybody should not interfere with your brother's wife. That they create their own home, and you got to show respect. He's not your brother that you once had, that we all lived together, where we slept together, we ate together, we did everything together. Once you become and you become married, you have a family. You have your own life to live. So you have to stay away. I mean, you go visit your brother, you go, stay close, always help each other out till you guys die. That was the teaching. But your mother, father, you always should look the way, especially when the parents are good parents. There's some bad parents. The kids. I can't. I didn't understand. years ago when people talk bad about their parents, about mother, father, they suck, they this and that. And I say, how could you talk like that? Your mother, your father. And then you happen to see the parents, what they are. They show no affection to their kids. They are for themselves. They either they involve drinking or doing their own thing and then let the kids go. They didn't even take care of the kids. So then you start to understand they are bad parents too. They are. There's good and bad in everything. So meanwhile, we got a few people in there. So see Jack said, but yet, Giacomo, you look up to Kenan Cartel. Kenan Cartel, one of the world's biggest gangster. I look up to who? I don't even know who the guy is. Look up the Kenan Cartel, one of the world's biggest gangster. I don't know who the guy is. So is so Cartel. Is he Mexican? What is he? Colombian? I don't know. Cartel. No. I got involved with Colombians because they had the cocaine. And I had to get involved with it because I had to get my fortune back that I lost. I had nothing else to go. The only thing I had the bookmaking, and the bookmaking, it's win or lose, and I wanted to get back in the restaurant. I wanted to go back and own a home that I lost during my Domicino reign. If he was if he was the kind of guy that was a blood uncle, an Italian Sicilian, and I was related to him, well, my ambition, we could own a casino because I had a big ideas, big dreams, and I knew how to do it, and I knew how to get in business with a restaurant. You know, I'm debating now that every time I should show maybe in my beginning of the show I should show photos with music. Before my live stream opens up. What do you think about that, Johnny? You said you wanted to see my cooking food. Uh, excuse me, about showing pictures. How would that sound? It will blow mind blowing, right? For some people. So what the fuck is he doing? Showing pictures of food? Huh? Before he talks about gangster. But yeah, Jacob. Okay. So you didn't answer me, soy sauce. Kinder can cartel. Is it Colombian? Is it Mexican? Who's that? Kini cartel. I don't know. So we need new people. We need more people. We got so anybody like Biden? Let's talk about Biden. Did anybody in his days in his prime? Did anybody like Biden? He was a senator from Delaware, not far from New York, and I think he was with the Irish crew. I think he acted like one. I think you know, he was one of them. He became a senator, and then he became a vice president, and then he became president. But I liked him better than Clinton, and I like him better than Bush's. The Bushes were I don't know, for themselves. Oil. They love the oil business. Came for money. So I like the senior Bush. Senior, the father was, with what do you call it? See, now I'm starting to slip. Shit, president. I got it tip of my tongue. I can't even say. Senior Bush was vice president. Reagan. Reagan. Reagan, right? He became a president. And people loved him, He was an actor. And he became the president, and he became a good president. We're strong. And maybe because he was in the history of power. You know, he was movies he made about power. They try to pick him up as being a communist during they were searching for communism. They were in the government. I think they're there now. So maybe they started back then. So I don't know. Okay, Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe is old. He never should have became president at the end. They put him there. The party put him there because they had nobody else that was going to run. Source Jack. He didn't even want to run, but he was gonna run. I believe he should have ran before Hillary ran. Hillary Clinton. He should have ran then. He was still had his marbles. I think he had, but he stepped down because everybody wanted Hillary to win. How many years was that? It's got to be what, 20 years? So 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, he would have been 70, my age. He still had the marbles, right? I think Trump is losing his marble little by little. I think he's full to himself now. I think he's losing it. And we're going to see what happens the next week or two, few weeks. Maltese Vampire. Ooh, Sleepy Joe. Okay, Johnny Catalano, Maltese Vampire. You're not wrong, that for sure. Yeah, where is he? He's not here. I got rid of him. Maltese Vampire. I got rid of him. So, what you seen him talking about me? Johnny, is this guy, Maltese Vampire, you seen somewhere he's talking about me? Uh, yes, he's a bad guy. He's with the other crew. I'm done with them. I don't want to mention it. I want to talk about the things that what distinguish a Sicilian. Okay, 1 minute. What does it say, Johnny? That's right. Yes, he's losing his fucking mind. You're right, Troy Sox. He's losing his mind too. Yeah, he's getting old and he's got a lot of pressure. He can't stop being away from the fucking TV. He's always on TV. He should be playing little golf, like Obama used to do. Go play, and then go to Hawaii for vacation. And then he became now millionaire Obama. Now, Trump, I don't know. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got a beautiful grandchildren that want to play golf with him. Why doesn't he do that? Instead of trying to fucking start wars. and that's now he's in the fire, so he's got to stay busy trying to fix it. Is he going to be able to fix it? I don't know. Meanwhile, you got other strong people looking in. You got China, you got Russia, you got North Korea, you got Pakistan, you got a lot of fucking powerful countries. Turkey too. Turkey, they all in the clique, you know. So yes, he's got problem. Okay, so Johnny said he's right there on the source, Jack. He's not talking about you. He's talking to you. Okay, Trump is losing his mind too now. And Johnny's saying he's right there on the source, Jack. He's not talking about you. He's talking about, one minute, just wait. Jack, he's not talking about you. He's talking to you. Yes, I know that. I see that. I'm talking to him too. Okay, you have Sicilian and bad name. You'll crap yourself if you really had connection, clown. Hey, this guy came out, Richard Gerard. You see that, Johnny? They can stay, they can behave. So, Richard Gerard, you give Sicilian a bad name. Yeah, like some people you know, right? You crap yourself if you really had connection, clown. I do have a connection. I got connection. How do you know I don't have connection? Richie Gerard. You're not Sicilian. You're not Italian. So how am I giving you a name that I'm insult and bad name the Sicilian? Okay, Richard. All right. Now we got look up the Canal Cartel. I don't have time to look up a Canal Cartel. So I don't know that I don't know. Richie Gerard, do you feel better about yourself now that you said that? Yeah, he's he could say that. Those are cheap talk because they don't have nothing else to do. Because I've proven I'm a man. I'm a guy that was born in the tradition of Cosa Nostra from Karini, Sicily, came to America and made my bones in Red Hook. I made my bones in Ridgewood. I made my bones in Glendale. I made my bones in our beach. I made my bones in Franklin Square, in Maspeth, and I made my bones over here in Florida. So, whatever people say, I don't need to answer. I got facts. I got books. I got story, and I'm over here. I got a channel, and I will get there. People gonna come. It's like the movie. The guy built the baseball team. What was his name? They will come. They will come, and they will come because I'm not going to talk to nobody now unless they come into my channel and press like, subscribe. Okay, let me see what this it says to Johnny. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Rich General, do you feel better? Okay, now Giacomo, do you know the haters all over Magical Crystal Ball? Yeah, the haters. I know they like to be haters. I don't know what they are. I don't know. I think These are young guys. They don't know shit. They don't know nothing. They grew up and listen to other bullshit and they believe it, and that's it. You can never change. And Johnny, keep it open your mouth like this, moron. What do you think, Johnny? We should get rid of him, Johnny. You give me the word. Oh, Richard Gere, you're from our beach. What's in our beach today, Richard Gere? What's in our beach today? What's in our beach? Who's in our beach today? Richard Gere, our beach. Big fucking deal. You live in our beach. What's in our beach? Nobody's in our beach. You got roofs on the bay on our beach. What else you got? There's nothing else in our beach. There's nobody living there. Everybody got out of there. Our beach. Any men of respect got out of ours. Same thing they did in Ridgewood, Queens, Knickerbocker. They moved out of there. They moved out of Middle Village. They moved out of fucking Maspeth. They're all moving out. They're all coming to Long Island. Did you know that? General Richard, I'm from our beach. Okay, Johnny, keep it up in my mouth. I'm from our beach, Richard Gere. The only one open their mouth is your mother. Oh, don't say that. Don't get to that level, Johnny. It's not worth it. What's in our beach? Only the shit is still in our beach. Everybody that was somebody moved out of our beach in the fucking 80s and 90s. John Junior Gotti doesn't live in our beach. The daughters of John Gotti's don't live in our beach. Who's living in our beach? Who? The old timers. They got nowhere to go. That's their base. They got memories, history. So who's living in our beach? The Messino family, the kids, the wife is still in our beach. John Gotti's wife and kids are still in our beach. So that's not a stronghold of mobsters no more. That's gone. General Jerkoff, I live in our beach. Big fucking deal. All right. Now, try to get that Mount Gypsy Compact. Car show look great. Okay, Richard Gere, come and see me. See you where? Show your fucking face. I see you. I go to our beach. Asshole. Show your face. Show who you are of our beach. Our beach. Our beach is thing of the past. It's gone. Okay. You're clueless. John, yes. Or Johnny Catalano. Gooch, you know this guy. I don't know. Okay. So the numbers keep on going down. I don't see too many likes there. General. The Richard Redger. Hey, did you push like? Richie Gerard, did you push like? At least you could get into when I come in on the show. You could come in and you'll see what I'm all about. Real story. Okay, so we got Richie Gerard, the only one. Richie, listen, be nice and take a walk. Listen to me, please. Rich, listen, be nice and take a walk. Listen to me, please. Still plenty. I'm with Russo. Still plenty. I'm with Russo. Russo on the Bay? Russo who? I don't know. There's a lot of fucking Russo, Richard Brown. Just the word Russo, there's a lot of Russo. Who you with, Russo? Which Russo? There's a lot of Russo. Okay, so now Gian Catalano. Mancho, Gypsy, Compa, Casual looked great. Richard, you come and see me. Okay, we said that. You clueless. Gooch. You know this guy. Okay, now we got Anton Moskovitsky. I just like. Okay. Hey, we got likes here. What's going on? Okay, thank you, Richard Jared. From you, we getting likes. That's a good thing. Okay, so now we got Anthony Miskovich. I just hit like. Thank you, Anthony Miskovich. That's it. See, he's probably from our beach. That's why I push like. All right, so now we got Makovich. Johnny, no idea, but I don't have the head for it tonight. Very good. Okay, what are you going to do? Yes, Frankie is under me. Frankie's under me. Okay, he's talking Indian talk. Frankie is under me. Okay, now who's Frankie? Who's Frankie? What are you going to do? Yes, Frankie's under me. Who's Frankie? Talk English. Talk like I'm talking. I'm talking, telling you straight out. If I don't understand, I'm telling you I don't understand. I'm not gonna mention those guys' names. That's it. I'm done. They on the downhill side. They're going down. I'm gonna go up. You see how many subscribers I got now? When I started, I had 5 subscribers. They were laughing at me. Then 90 subscribers. They were laughing at me. Then I got 100 subscribers. Only a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe. I'm almost at 1,400 today. So I'm going up, and the other guys, my enemies, are going down, including some of the top guys, podcasters. They're going downhill because, they did enough. There's only so much in this podcast life that you're going to get. So they're running from where they're going to go see next. I'm the new kid on the block. I'm the new guy that's going to tell the stories about the life of Joe Messino, the life of John Gotti, Sonny Black Napolitano. What else? Tony Herso, Lou Restivo, Jamin Taglione. Those are the guys I grew up with. So I got a lot of stories to talk about. The Corazzo, I've been talking about it. They're there. So is Gerald Journal. Do you know Blaze Corazzo? Blaze? Where is he? Where is he? Where is this Richard Gere, Frank Russo? Frank Russo. Is still alive, Frank Russo? Is it not the Colombo? Frank Russo? Isn't an old man now? How old are you, Richard? Richard Gerard. How old are you? Under Frank Russo. You will say you're under Frank Russo? Uh, what story you got? And, okay, he's asking your question. Antonio Minkovic is asking you, Richard Gere, what story you got? Honest question. Richard, what story do you got? How old are you? Do you really live in our beach? Or you just saying that? Talk is cheap. We got to produce. I got books. I got books. I got books in Italian. I got books in English. I got, it's not 100%, journalism. It's a street guy talking, street talk, real language. So, Frank Richard Gere, you got a story? That's what Anthony Mistovich is asking you. All right, so I'm gonna go to the guy is being respectful and tell a story, whether you want to believe it or not. Just shut it off or don't get it. Johnny, you are nothing like this clown. You like to call me a clown? I don't know. Maybe you should come to Florida and show me the guy you are. I give you a place to meet, you know? Um, Being that, oh, maybe you should tell me where you are in our beach. I come and see you because I do go to New York and I go to Kennedy Airport. You're not far from Kennedy Airport, so I could go in and out, you know? So where are you? You don't know anyone. Old fool. Old fool. So he's got to be a fucking kid, this guy. I'm an old fool. A wise old fool. And you're a what? Okay, anyway, the chin. Okay, the chin. He says, Anthony Monroe says, the chin. Okay, I want to see more likes. We need new people, new blood. We need likes. Johnny Catalano, Richie just got something else on. What you want the aggravation? Richard just okay. He's talking about the son. He doesn't want to be brother either. He just wants to enjoy his money now. Okay, I understand. Then we got one of the hardest work family in the catering business. The father was a jam. Okay, thank you for from okay, Rules on the Bay. Why don't you fucking talk English? Yeah, okay, now Frank Russo. Okay. They start out the family start out by Lefferts Boulevard. You know? Do you know that? Johnny Region? Do you know that? So I don't know. Okay. So then we got Marco they really do a great job down there. You got any story with the chin? Rules on the Bay, yes. Yes, take care. You'll be gone soon. Richie, Richie J. Take care. You'll be gone soon. I don't know who's you talking to. Are you talking to yourself, Richard? Who's going to be gone soon? Who's going to be gone soon, Richard? Who's going to be gone soon? Talk English. Okay. So next, yeah, Johnny go and I go back with the father of Lefferts Boulevard. That's right. Lefferts Boulevard. Yes, that's right. That's where they start out. And they built their little castle, catering place right there, right? And that was the good old times. That's when John Gotti used to go there, Joe Messino, I was going there. We had a lot of parties there, dinners there, back then. And then they end up going to Roos on the Bay. You forget about it. And now they're living it up. Everybody's doing good. And with the help of the mobsters. So, does it pay to be a real gangster or it pays to be a real businessman? Eh? What it pays? Being a gangster, end up in jail, die because you want to be the top guy, and in the fast lane. My life, it was not trying to be in the fucking fast lane. My life was about to try to accomplish, create, and I had a past on my back. I had fucking Joe Messino, the fucking stepped on me, and everything I tried to do, he just wanted to fucking step on me. So I'm here, he's not here. And look all the years. I was being stepped on from him from 1970s to the year 2000, 2003, till he got arrested. So how many fucking years is that? 33 years. 33 years. Always watching my steps. Because, and I had to deal with the laws, fines, and, through the time being shot and lost my. That's why I had no choice. I had the opportunity to get back what I wanted. That's why I went to Franklin Square. I got out of there. I don't have a clue. I don't. Okay, so now, yeah, Johnny, I go back with the father, Lefferts Boulevard. That's right. I've been to many weddings there. They're absolutely beautiful. Yes, but there's other places too. Leonard's in Grand Neck. They do great weddings too. There's a lot of great places. People just go to Grey Roof on the Bay because it's John Gotti's neighborhood. I mean, the place is not fucking top notch, but it's a neighborhood place. You go to Brooklyn, there's a lot of places too in Brooklyn, like Roofs on the Bay, and they do good weddings. But if you go on the island, they got more land. If you go to New Jersey, they got more land. They got more shows. They got uh, lights on the trees. It's like what do they call that? A garden. Oh, beautiful things. So there's a lot of great wedding halls. But he just happens to be there because he's in the city, and there's places in One Stone too popular. Nice places. But everybody runs, from Ridgewood, from Middle Village, Maspeth, and Glendale. They go to Roofs on the Bay. So he's got that locked up. But every neighborhood has their own famous places. Okay, Rich takes Jack. I had three of the best parties downstairs. Yes. Yeah, they did a great job. Good food. Went all the way out to show respect. They treat you nice. Everybody was welcome. They didn't just treat certain people good. They treat a lot of people good. They knew how to get, the word out that they had great food and good service. And they did great. And, they got power. In our beach, they got power. They got power in Ozone Park. So good for them. They did it the right way. But feeding people, not killing people. So, okay. I did I think Russo is really, really nice. To each his own, right? Yes, to each his own. That's what we used to say. And I got my own. I'm trying. I'm trying to get friends with the wise guys here, with the wannabes, with guys that don't know shit about what really happened. Who's really who? Who's really people they should listen to? I'm trying, but they call me old. You have to go. The old people always the wise people, not the young people. The young people look always for older people for advice, for directions, and you're supposed to copycat of the wise man, not the stupid young people that they didn't do nothing, accomplish nothing. They just want to tell stories about growing up in the streets with kids. They went to steal hubcaps or steal stereos, things like that. And I mean, a lot of kids did that. You don't have to be Italian kids do it. All nationalities did that. So what is the story to talk about? Growing up with a bunch of kids, teenagers, stay in the corner, the ones that singing, the songs. There was all different type of people. They became musicians. They sang songs. There's a different characters of people. I'm talking about Cosa Nostra, what it was, because I am a young man that came to America as a teen, and I had to face reality in school, not knowing how to speak. Those are stories. Not hanging out in the corner singing a song and then go steal in the car and you go joyriding with a stolen car and you got caught, you got arrested, and that's your legacy. And then you rob drug dealers, uh, and not only rob them, you kill them. So that's a great story. And the other guys, the hoodlums, they get involved with the American mafia, and they want to make uh, a point how tough they are. So they kill people under order of somebody who's a killer that got there. So now he wants to turn you into a killer because he did it for the other guy. And where all these guys end up? Where do they all end up? They end up in prison, or they get killed themselves. They get killed. So where do they? So what is the glory of being a bad guy? Be a good guy, like these guys, the Russos. They own a restaurant, left it, right, at Ozo Park, and then they open up Roos on the Bay, and they're making a lot of money. A lot of people go from all over, and they're very respectful, and they got the whole fucking neighborhood, our beach now. Who knows what they bought? I'm sure they invest money, all over our beach. So what happened to that guy, General Richard Gerald? What happened to him? He got lost. He left on his own. See, he left on his own. We didn't give him the time of the day. He left. He took off. Johnny Mongoose. He took off. The guy took off. Richie Gerard. We're gonna remember that name. Okay. So Johnny, you were talking about that guy, the vampire. What happened to him? Why'd you mention that guy, Johnny? Did you see him somewhere talking about me or something? Okay. So, okay. Yep. Anyway, I'm gonna take a sip of my vino. My throat is dry. Saludo to my friends, and we're making history. Where's Carmela? Carmela didn't even say goodnight tonight. She just left. Vampire house is going. Multiple tip because he's in the chat. He's right about my comment. I have only seen him be spread in here tonight. Where is he? How come I don't see him? Okay, so he's here. So I guess there's other people here that I don't see. Johnny. So I mentioned because he's in the chat. He's right above my comment. I always Carmela. Yeah, where's Carmela? Johnny Catalano. Carmela is walking her dog. Okay, that's right. We got to walk that dog. So Johnny, so you see this guy on the chat because I don't know. He's talking. Johnny, are you there? Johnny, go up. Jack, you probably blocked them somehow with your account instead of your show. Instead of your show, but it seems all right to me. I don't know. I don't see him. I don't see, But come you see him. You're talking to him? Johnny, you talking to him right now? And I don't see him? I did block him because when he came to my videos, he made bad comments. And then he came in here. When he came in here, the first reaction I had it to get, I blocked him. So that's why you can see him. You block them off of your show. Now we that's why you can see him. You block them off your show. Now with your show. So what are you're saying, Johnny? So there's a lot of people here that are blocked. You see them besides Vampire? You see other people too? Earlier when I first came on. I don't know. I'm learning, so I don't know. No, just him. Oh, okay. I don't know. He came into my shows, my videos, not live stream, other videos, and he made a very bad comments. So when he came to my live stream, he said something I didn't like, and I just blocked him. So let's leave things the way they are. And you say he's trying to be nice. Uh, People could come with false pretense too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Sometimes they try to talk to you nice, just to like this guy Richard Gere. What happened to him? He disappeared. Anyway, so we lost everybody. So maybe we pack it in for tonight, and everybody. Okay, what are you saying, Johnny? What are you saying? Giacomo, he wants me to tell you if he disagree with people, he says, but to respect and be respectful. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Giacomo, he wants me to tell you if he disagree with people, if he disagree with people, he says it, but he knows how to respect and be respectful. So why wasn't he respectful when he went to my videos? He says things bad. So now he's talking about being respectful. So I don't know. I don't know. I just don't believe him that he wants to be respectful. I think he wants to play the game. I think he thinks he's smart enough, like this guy Richie Gere we just had on, that everybody thinks they know more than the other guy. But I think I know more because I've been this kind of problems before. So it don't take me long to see who my friends are, who my enemies are. So I don't know. Maybe you think he is a good guy. It's okay. He could talk to you. So all right, Johnny got on. My wife friends are in town. Okay. So good night, Johnny. Good night, Markovich. And yes, have a great time. Okay, we're gonna say good night. Cheers, and till next time, which will be Monday. I'm taking off the weekend to enjoy my sweetheart too. Cheers. Salud. Shentan. So I don't know how many people end up getting, but the last one I did, the last video I did, I got the most I have gone since I started the live stream. And I had, I don't know, about 450 views in one day. That's a lot. So people did watching it after I get off. So they're watching it. I don't know why they don't come in the live stream. I invite them to come and talk, making comments. Let them know they're here. But I guess today's Friday night. But these are the days I'm gonna pick. Unless I got something to do, then I gotta cancel, and I will let people know that I'm gonna not show up for that night in advance. This way, no. But as far as I'm gonna be doing is the 7 o'clock. I'm gonna be doing 7 o'clock Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3 days a week. Plus, I'm gonna post a little video here and there, and I'm gonna post some shorts, to keep people interested, and hope that people come in and really come and talk. We could talk about Sicily. We could talk about Brooklyn. We could talk about Ridgewood. We could talk about Glendale. That's Queens. Our beach is Queens. And then we could talk about Franklin Square, Long Island, that I spent 21 years of my life there. So, again, let's say goodnight. And till next time. Good night, Johnny. Good night, Mario. Okay, that's it. There's nobody else. Everybody say good night. They want to walk the dogs. Okay, good night.